Ready for episode 2?
Episode 2, people. Here we go, man.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, and let's go.
It's the Rupi Dan show. What? It's the Rupi Dan show. What?
It's the Rupi Dan show.
What? What? Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Rupi
Dan show.
Yeah.
Good to have you back.
Good to have you back, people, as well. Hopefully you enjoyed episode 1. Episode 2, as we promised, it's the road to WrestleMania, people.
Yeah. And it's an exciting road this time around.
For sure. Let's mention our sponsors once again, Dan, and have a big thank you for them as well for sponsoring our show.
Yes, Halo and Cross, thank you very much for sponsoring the show and helping us out with the equipment, and the Dan Network for having us on the network. So yeah,
The road to WrestleMania.
and it begins right now.
If you smell that.
While we're cooking.
Yeah, so the big thing heading into WrestleMania 40 was the return of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And
The new board, one of the board of directors of
Yeah.
TKO, which is a parent company for UFC and WWE.
So yeah, one company owning these two big franchises. Obviously, Vince McMahon has sold his share, and now we have new owners of WWE.
Yeah.
But in terms of the way the business is being run, Triple H is doing a great job of kind of setting everything. And we're into the road to WrestleMania 40, the big 4-0, man.
40 years of WrestleMania. For those that don't know about wrestling, it's basically a stage production that's televised. It's acting, but not acting. It's physical, but not actually meant to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people will say, oh, it's fake. Obviously, if you use that term, it's a derogatory term to wrestlers because it's not fake. People do get hurt in wrestling. But is it staged? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it a show? Yes. Is it entertainment? It's a great entertainment. And it's one that, obviously a lot of people get into as a child. Myself and Dan, we love watching it as kids. But there is a big following from people in our age range as well and beyond. I mean, it's 40 years. And that's just WrestleMania. I mean, wrestling has been going on since, the 70s as well. So even before WrestleMania, the first one was obviously 40 years ago, so in the 80s. And WrestleMania 1 with Mr. T and Hulk Hogan. Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, Muhammad Ali was the Madison Square Garden, New York. Muhammad Ali was the referee. An interesting fact for WrestleMania 40. For the 40. For WrestleMania 40, the night before is the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and they have a celebrity kind of wing of the Hall of Fame, and Muhammad Ali is
going to be joining Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he'll be joining Sly Stallone, I think.
Yeah, Sly, I think, is in there as well, including Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg's in there as well. So yeah, I mean,
they've got some people in their Hall of Fame.
The greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali.
But it's entertainment, folks. So this is what it is. So what you're seeing on screen right now is people like you and me, just there to be connected and unified together. And share their passions amongst each other, really.
So as a moment you'll be able to see as well, all the wrestling fans are doing the kind of universal symbol for The Rock's cousin. Roman Reigns is the gentleman there. You'll see kind of in the CGI. I mean, it's not the best CGI, but still, we know it's Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And he's the younger cousin of The Rock. Again, if you don't follow wrestling, just to quickly brief you on who he is. He is the WWE Universal Champion. He's been a champion for nearly 3 years, which is unheard of in the modern era of wrestling. A person to hold this title for that amount of time is just amazing. And he has this storyline called, it has the bloodline. So basically, The Rock,
right?
Yeah, The Rock, Roman Reigns, they come from a long history of Samoan wrestlers. So their heritage is vast, and there's so many different Samoan wrestlers throughout the years of wrestling. Their history is amazing. I mean, The Rock, he did at one point, he put this PowerPoint up on, and he pulled this slide up, and you could see the wrestling tree of of their history. It's amazing to see. We've got a little advert at the moment. We'll bypass that in a moment. But Roman Reigns has got his cousins with him as well. So Jimmy Uso and also Solo Sikoa. They've got the wise man, Paul Heyman, which, interesting fact, he's been inducted to the Hall of Fame this year as well.
So what does he do? So the wise man is basically us. He's kind of us within the group, so he kind of makes sense of that what's going on to try and basically converse with us and give us the update about what's going on. Fun fact, tying it back to episode 1, The Rock is actually doing a storyline in WWE, and he was at the Oscars.
He was.
Yeah.
He was at the Oscars.
Two worlds. He's in two worlds.
John Cena was there as well.
Yeah.
You would have heard us talk
And
about
he's
this.
coming back for WrestleMania.
Is he? Really?
Yeah, well, he'd like to.
But wouldn't it be interesting to see if Hulk Hogan comes back as well?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. He's always itching to come back, which is great. I mean, he's part of the foundation.
He is. I mean, 10 years ago, it was WrestleMania 30, and it kicked off with Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold in the ring at the same time.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. Give me a hell yeah. So what?
I love some of the things that you say.
What? Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold.
Stone
Programming
Cold.
code. Stone Cold.
But the three of them in the ring was an amazing moment in WrestleMania 30. So it'll be interesting to see who kicks off the show for WrestleMania 40. And as you can see, that is the big match. Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns.
So why is this match such a big match, right? You've got Roman Reigns, who Rupi just said comes from a long line of Samoans, who's like it's like our family working in a bakery for generations and generations, or in a coal mine. That's basically what these guys are doing. The person he's going to be fighting also has a lineage within wrestling, but this person in particular, called Cody Rhodes, he was struggling for years and years to make it, right? We can all identify with that. We go to work, we're struggling to be successful, we're struggling to get to that next level. We don't understand what's going on. We're trying to do everything right, but it's just not working out. And so that's what he was going through. And so he had to take a hard decision to actually leave this place that he loves, that his family kind of helped build, to figure it out, figure life out, which is what some of us, we do, and it's not an easy decision. So when he did that, he went to another company, and he actually started a company. He actually gave it a go. When you're an entrepreneur, you risk it. You think, well, what's the worst that can happen? Let's just try. And not only did it work, but he established a fantastic competing company to run alongside WWE. And as soon as that was established and he was a top-level executive, he thought, you know what? I did this, and I'm happy with what I achieved, but this isn't actually my dream. I still want to be competing. I still want to be a champion, and that's something I've never done. So he went back to his dream. He went back to try and realize his dream, which is incredible and crazy. And that's why he's now there, and all of these people, the fans, are supporting him because they know what he's been through, know what he's done, know why he's back, and that's what they're trying to champion him with.
Talk about having a dream. His father, the American Dream as well, Dusty Rhodes, he never won the major title in WWE. So he's trying to fulfill a dream not only of his father's, but of his own. And his dad was the American Dream. Look at The Rock.
This is a new entrance, by the way.
Yeah, just look at the man. I mean, how many years?
What is he, 58 or something? He's
something
chiseled like a
rock.
Greek rock. He's chiseled like a rock, yeah. Makes sense.
But yeah, so the reason why The Rock is involved, because if anyone watches, has anyone ever seen the Young Rock series that was airing on Sky Atlantic in the UK?
What was it?
Yeah, wow. Sky Atlantic. Yeah, you can download, if you've got Sky, you'll be able to download the box set, I'm sure. It's great because it tells a history of his parents and him growing up in the industry. But there's an interesting episode where Roman Reigns as a child and The Rock, who's just making his way through WWE, they kind of have this little kind of scene where Roman says, "Oh, I want to wrestle you. And The Rock, he says, "No, a match like that can only happen at WrestleMania." So, being WrestleMania 40, everyone thought The Rock versus Roman Reigns, that would be the big, big match. And they were kind of alluding to it. The Rock came back a few times and he said, "Look, I want to be the head of the table," or title that Roman Reigns has given himself. So everyone thought, this is going to happen. I was getting psyched for that match. In the meantime, Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble. And if you don't follow wrestling, the Royal Rumble, a massive event, 30 wrestlers, one by one, they come into the ring, they have to toss the person over the top ropes, and the last man standing, just like that, man. Careful, man, people don't stop. Right, so the winner gets to fight the champion of their choosing at WrestleMania. So Cody Rhodes won that match, he gets to choose. So you've got The Rock and Roman Reigns, you're thinking, well, is he going to impede on that? He actually came out and he said, no, I'm going to clear the path for The Rock versus Roman Reigns. And then the fans did not like it. And there was a massive campaign. They used the hashtag, We Want Cody. And suddenly those executives, including Triple H, who's running WWE, they started listening to fans and thought, actually, they don't want this match. They don't want it. Now, we were surprised by this. They had a big press conference in Las Vegas, and it was just before the Super Bowl. And The Rock came out and he said, right, this is going to be the best match ever. No one can beat we've got the best family. And he was setting himself as the bad guy again. And no one's seen him as the bad guy role for a long time. Suddenly Cody comes out and says, all right, even though I said, I'm going to pave the way for you to have this fight with your cousin, you know what? No, I don't agree with what you're saying. And I'm going to take what is due, which is me fighting for that title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and what's nice is when you know what things look like behind the curtain and why that's all taking place, it's not less interesting, it's even more interesting. Because of your voice and your collective voice, you've actually made a difference to this multinational TV show that a lot of people love around the world. You're actually heard, you're listened to, and that's what we all want. We want a voice that people listen to, right? That's why it's so special, because they connect with the audience. Like we're trying to connect with you right now.
I've got a funny feeling, though, that something's going to happen after WrestleMania, and I think we still will see that fight, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Because you can see it, Roman has to take a back seat when The Rock's out. You can see it. He doesn't like it so much.
It's going to be interesting how they do it. And you know what? Look at this level of excitement for this one match, right? We've got 2 nights of matches in WrestleMania. It's a 2-night event.
Yep.
There's going to be maybe 15 matches, 10 to 15 matches, and this is just the one.
Night 1, the match which is taking all the kind of hype and hysteria. The Rock and Roman Reigns are going to tag team, and they're going to wrestle against Cody Rhodes, the person we've been talking about for the last few minutes or so, and also the World Heavyweight Champion, who we mentioned briefly in episode 1, Seth Rollins. So it's going to be Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins, that's how he likes to call himself, against The Rock and Roman Reigns. The stipulation is that if Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins win that fight, then on night 2 of WrestleMania, when Cody fights Roman Reigns for the big Universal title, The Rock guarantees there'll be no outside interference. The bloodline will not be allowed to be at the ring for that fight. So, interesting stipulation out there.
Yeah. And what's more interesting about this Seth character is his wife is also a professional wrestler. They have a 3-year-old daughter who they take around with them in this world of wrestling. These people are actually family men and women. This is their job, and they're traveling the world to entertain us, but also live out their own dreams. So it's incredible from that perspective too.
It is. It's very much so. And again, family, you can see everything is connected. We mentioned family in terms of The Rock and the bloodline. We mentioned Cody Rhodes. Another family just started there between Seth and Becky Lynch as well. So
yeah, and we haven't got around to showing it on TV. Might not in this episode get around to showing it on the TV, but you've got Becky. She's going to be fighting one of these the women's
Rhea
champions.
Ripley from Australia.
So and that's going to be a great match because Rhea is amazing from Australia. They even went back and did a big event, and she smashed it.
Yeah, not hometown, but kind of the home country hero returned for the first time in 7 years. They did the event called the Elimination Chamber, and she fought Nia Jax. It was a great match. It was the last one, and she got amazing kind of crowd reception. But one thing I want to mention, Dan, and I don't think she gets highlighted enough. For the wrestling fans out there, you'll know who I'm about to mention, because it feels like she's taken a back seat, was the female winner of the women's wrestling, of the Royal Rumble, and her name, see, Dan knows, her name is Bayley. Bayley, if you ever watch this, we love you, we think you're a great wrestler, right? You won the women's Royal Rumble, and we feel that you're getting a little bit, you're not getting the credit that you deserve. Your kind of build up, your road to WrestleMania feels like it's taking a backseat because of all this, which obviously we still love with The Rock and the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. But we want to see you get a bit more a bit of a spotlight shining on you. You've got your match at WrestleMania for the Women's WWE Championship against her name was in your faction. What has been broken up, Damage Control. Her name will come back to me.
So this name of this person was a Japanese wrestler who established themselves in another wrestling company in Japan, was brought over here because it was so great, and now they're working in an American company, but internationally, and that's again, the world of wrestling is amazing.
Io Sky, the name has come back to me. So
I
Bailey,
give him a bit of time to think.
see, he padded it out perfectly. We're getting pros at this now, Dan. So Io Sky, the champion versus Bailey, and this will be probably on night 1. I'm guessing. I don't think they'll save it for night 2. But that's going to be interesting. And I think, and again, it was interesting in terms of Bailey because going into the Royal Rumble.
Why has he got that on his mouth?
What's going on? Is this Seth freaking Rollins coming out?
I mean, sorry to interrupt, but on the TV, Seth Rollins coming out with tape over his mouth. Why? I don't know.
Is he trying to do something? Oh, right. I think he's trying to take the mick, isn't he? I think The Rock called him a clown at one point in one of the promos. But I tell you what, he doesn't look like a clown there. He's looking quite businesslike. Showing off his title, which is interesting.
But so Bailey, she's talented. The Japanese Io Sky is talented. It's going to be great fights there. You've got someone from Scotland called Drew McIntyre, amazing wrestler. He's going to be fighting Seth Rollins too. So Seth Rollins is actually going to be fighting twice. Yep. Cody's going to be fighting twice. Roman's going to be fighting twice. It's just a lot of people fighting.
It's going to be a great WrestleMania. I mean, WrestleMania 4, they had to pull out all the stops for it. So it's going to be amazing. Actually, it's taking place in Philadelphia at a big, massive American football arena because you can get a lot of fans in one of those stadiums, big event stadium. I thought they might do what they did WrestleMania 20, which was the home of WWE in a sense, which was Madison Square Garden in New York, the big famous garden. But yeah, they're going to have it in a big football stadium in Philadelphia. And we wish we were going. I would love to. But I've never been to a WrestleMania.
Let's go to WrestleMania 50.
Imagine that another 10 years time.
50? 51? I mean 41?
You know what? They should, as John Cena once said.
And we'll go. We'll go for you. We'll show you what's there.
Oh,
we're in funky glasses like this.
We will do. I'm going to go all dressed up as the Rock people. I'd be there. I'd shave my head, everything. No, I wouldn't. Don't hold me to that.
Yes, hold him to that. I want to see that.
I'll come out with that kind of waistcoat on as well.
Rupi, you haven't seen this, right? And what's actually happening on TV right now is in a previous episode of wrestling, Rock slapped Cody. Oh, at that Las Vegas.
That was at the press conference in Las Vegas.
Yeah. So basically, I think this is one of the first times they're all meeting face to face now, a month later.
Yeah.
And the question is, well, what's going to happen? If someone slaps you in the face, you're not going to be happy about it, right? So what's going to happen? So you've got people on the outside there giving that kind of weight to the situation that's here, which is it's an unpredictable moment. We don't know what's going to happen.
I think with Seth Rollins as well, I mean, his character now, Seth freaking Rollins, as he likes to call himself, he's coming out with outlandish clothes. I mean, this is quite timid and tame.
What he's gone for just there, I just noticed. He's gone for a black turtleneck.
Yeah, but I mean, what was that on his shoulder?
A black turtleneck.
Yeah, back in the day, Kevin Hart takes the mick out of him in a sketch about this for Halloween.
That's why he's done it.
Possibly, you would have thought he would have that fanny pack on though, wouldn't he? So I don't know if he's wearing that, but yeah. I mean, I've got to give him credit. Seth is one of the best wrestlers out there at the moment in terms of just pure wrestling ability, and as an entertainer, he is very, very good. And he and Cody Rhodes, when Cody Rhodes came back into WWE after so long being away, they had a great trio of fights in culminating with both of them having a fight in Hell in a Cell. Cody actually injured himself going into that fight. This is for real, this wasn't even part of the story. He actually torn, I think it was his bicep.
Do you know how he did
or
that?
His chest, or his pectoral muscle as well.
Do you know how he did that?
How did he do that?
In the gym.
In the gym?
So, by the way, I'm raising this for a reason. Be careful when you're in the gym. If you're lifting heavy weights, lift what you can manage. He picked up a weight that was too heavy on the bench, lifted it up, pop, ripped his muscle, and then all of that was torn. Then he had to go on TV and actually sign a waiver and fight.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to him.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I don't know how he got signed,
Yeah.
but he was saying, look, so all these fans have come out because he was the top of the billing in terms of that event, Hell in a Cell, and he said, look, I can't let them all down. He spoke to the doctors and said, look, you can't actually do more damage to it. So somehow they managed to do this wrestling match, and all credit to them. It was an amazing match.
Oh yeah.
And so they've had their history of fighting against each other, Seth Rollins and Cody, but now they are teaming together.
So your the storyline is you're teaming up with your former enemy to face off against new enemies. So that in itself is it's all storytelling. It's different layers of storytelling. Why these two individuals? Why them two individuals? That's what the best thing is about wrestling.
How old did you say The Rock was, Dan?
I think maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it's like 52.
I know. Well, listen, for his age, I know he's got personal trainers and such. I know he hits the gym like a maniac, supposedly, at 4 o'clock in the morning every day, apart from his cheat days, which I have to say are awesome if you ever see what he eats on his cheat days. But I mean, look at the man. He just looks, absolutely amazing. Keeps himself in great shape.
Yeah. The trick is, how do you weightlift and be flexible? You have to. It's a combination training. When it's not, it's something you have to do, prepare for. You can't just weight train and then be flexible and expect to do yoga. Nah.
Yeah,
You got it.
I got it.
You get it.
Wrestling fans will know who we're kind of quoting there.
Yeah, but this is
LA Knight.
Yeah. So the cool thing about LA Knight, for those of you that don't know, is he's over 40, right? And in sports like football, basketball, when you're over 40, people say you're past your prime. They write you off, which is really sad.
But we all know life begins at 40.
It does. And life begins at 50 and 60 and 70. Misconceptions, don't ever buy into any misconceptions. You can do whatever you want to do. And this LA Knight guy, he's just taken wrestling by storm, and people love him, and people of the company wrote him off, and then when they couldn't deny the fact the fans loved him, so they started to give him more opportunities and more storylines, and now he's sold lots of merchandise, which is a big thing in wrestling. He's working with lots of the top names, and it's just a testament to again, life, which is, don't let anyone ever put you down. If you know you're good at something, if you've got that self-belief, oops, sorry about the mic, give it a go. Try it, do it.
Don't, as Dan said, don't ever think that you can't get to a certain point. Everyone out there, you'll have your supporters, you'll have those that for whatever reason don't think you can make it, but you've got to listen to here and think, right, how am I going to get to the point that I want to get to? And go for it with passion, with your heart, with your soul. And if you don't get there, so what? The journey is going to take you on maybe a different path. You'll end up in a different direction. As long as you stay with that goal and you work as much as you can towards it, you'll find something else. But like these wrestlers, like we mentioned, for Cody, it is that culmination of that story, that lifelong journey, fulfilling a dream that his father had. And for him, I'm sure if anyone is going to end the reign, this near three-year reign of Roman Reigns as the WWE Universal Champion, I can't see Cody not winning that title at WrestleMania. I don't know.
That's what happened last year.
Yes,
you see what's happening on TV now, by the way? So The Rock, as we mentioned earlier, he's on the board of directors now. He's saying he's the boss. So Seth has just basically told him to shut up.
Oh.
And that's where the serious tension's coming in play right now. Seth's had enough of the ridicule. And just to add 2 things that I've not yet said, if you don't know who The Rock is, he started off with $7 in his pocket. He only had like £7, right? From £7, he's turned his life around through a series of decisions and being around the right people and never giving up. This person, Roman Reigns, he's had leukemia. He's struggled with his health, yet through determination, support, medicine, he's still able to do what he loves today, and the company supporting him by not letting him work too much so that he puts his own physical health at risk. And that's a great. We're living in a great time where people are supportive to that level. And if you don't have an employer or people that do that for you, we've got so many people in this world. Go elsewhere. Look for someone else. You don't have to be stuck where you're at. So Cody has a story, Seth has a story, Rock has a story, Roman has a story, and together they have a story, and that's why wrestling is what it is.
Yeah, the big thing for Cody, and as Dan mentioned, I think very briefly there, Cody did wrestle against Roman Reigns last year at WrestleMania 39. Everyone thought Cody would win then, but he didn't. He didn't end his story. Can he do it this year? We'll have to wait and see. WrestleMania 40, Philadelphia. It's going to be a big one, people.
Yeah, it is. And you've got to watch this segment. This is an amazing segment, by the way. 40, if ever you do want to go, you need to save up thousands of pounds. It is not cheap.
It's not cheap.
And you have to book it nearly in a year in advance.
And even when they come to the UK, which they're doing more often, I mean, they did Money in the Bank last year at the O2. Clash at the Castle.
Wales?
Yeah, Wales at the Millennium Stadium. It is a Millennium Stadium, isn't it? It's still called the Millennium Stadium. Yeah, I think it might be still, maybe previously known as the Millennium Stadium. And actually, Drew McIntyre, who we mentioned, the Scottish superhero, he fought Roman Reigns for the title there. Brief appearance by Tyson Fury as well. He was watching in the crowd.
And Leon Edwards from UFC.
Yeah, Leon Edwards was there as well.
Yeah, he only lives down the road.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So, but even then, tickets to the UK shows, there's still a lot of money, people. I mean, you can find the cheap tickets, but you'll be kind of way at the back. If you want to have the decent seat ticket, you're still thinking a lot of money. But it depends how much of a fan are you. If you're willing to prepare to pay that money, I'm sure you'll have a great time because the events are amazing.
But get in there quickly now because I've noticed it's very hard to get tickets. So that said, you see this moment that's happening on TV right now? The Rock is telling Cody Rhodes, he's saying to Cody Rhodes a lot of bad things about Cody's family. So what do you think someone's going to do when that happens?
I think I can feel a topper coming on. Yep. I don't know. Like a bit of a shit.
I think so. I think so.
I think it's. Oh! Oh!
Ouch!
Rock got a topper. That's what they call a receipt. The Rock did it to Cody. Cody, but
he's happy about it. He likes it.
It's like one of those Indian programs, right? Yeah, on Sony or ZTV. And you get dishum. There we go. We're gonna do the dishum. We're doing the dishum moments. What time? See, it happens. See, a little bit of Bollywood into wrestling.
Yeah, that was a Bollywood moment. And that's wrestling, people. That's wrestling. I mean, we've just skimmed the surface for you, but we're on the road to WrestleMania. We're going to try and maybe get out another episode before WrestleMania. But if not, we'll be back with a WrestleMania episode to give you the highlights.
Click subscribe. We're on the Dan Network. It's the Rupi and Dan Show. Big shout out once again to our sponsors. Thank you so much for helping us deliver this podcast for everyone to enjoy. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and look forward to episode 3, everybody.
So from
myself, Rupi,
and Dan, thanks for sticking around and watching our episode. Take care of yourself.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Dishum.